welcome back in the brand new year to SGU Uncut. This is our brand new series for, like I said, brand new year of 2022. Thieves of Joy. We're starting off this year with some joy, and that is why I have my best friend here with me today, Buns and Pearls. Welcome
Hi,
to the
everybody.
show. Oh, you have your pearls on, too.
I do. Wore them just for you.
Aw, we used to be tennis partners, and we're both named Emily. That's her real name. Her name
Yes.
is Emily, and I'm Emily, your host for the series. I forgot to say that. I'm your host, Emily, for the series. Welcome. But we were tennis partners, and our coach couldn't say Emily because we would both be like,
Yes.
who are you talking to? So she always wore buns in her hair and pearls in her earrings. So she was Buns and Pearls, and I was Cookies because I ate a lot of cookies. But
Yes.
yeah. Emily, or Buns,
Yes.
do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, I'm Emily, or Buns, as I say. Whatever you want.
I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. I'm a junior at Towson University studying exercise science and hope to go to a physician assistant grad school soon. So
Smart cookie.
I'm trying. That's you.
And we kickbox together now. We used to play tennis. Now we kickbox because we got to keep the sports things going together. Dynamic duo.
Yes. We're always together.
Yes. Starting off the new year with Buns and Cookies. So welcome to the show. Like I said, this is Thieves of Joy. So let's just start off by talking about what is joy. It's this foundational, it's being grounded, it's emotionally involved, and it's something, we want something that lasts. And it's different from happiness. I think people confuse the two, happiness and joy. Happiness is this temporary thing that will bring us happiness in the moment. But joy is long lasting, it's fulfilling, it's different, it's in our hearts, it's given to us from God. What brings you joy?
I really like how you said that thing about happiness versus joy, because I feel like a lot of people, including myself, long for happiness when you really should be longing for joy. Mm-hmm. And I think now in this season of life for me, I'm finding that joy has to come from within yourself first. You have to be able to love yourself first to then be able to feel wholly. That's where the happiness comes, like that's the temporary, I'll go eat this lovely meal and it'll be so good. Mm-hmm. I know that's a random example, but
that's a good example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But joy, I found if I put that energy and love in myself, I can then put it into the things that mean the most to me. So in this season of life, I'm finding I love spending time with my family, and I love the joy that they bring towards me. I love working out, the joy it brings me, and also when I see those, that progress, that brings me joy because I'm putting that love back into myself. So things like that maybe are more simple in terms of life bring the most joy to me.
I love that. Building a relationship with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You only have yourself at the end of the day.
And God.
Yes, and God.
But in this world, there are things that steal our joy. We can work to find our joy, and that's what we're going to talk about this whole series. But we're going to also look at the things that steal it, the thieves of joy. And one of those huge things is rejection or criticism from others. So have you ever gone through a rejection or criticism time in your life where it just really hit you?
Yes. I have found actually in this past season of life, these last couple of months, I'm 20 now. I find that when you enter your 20s, you are welcomed into the adult world with many trials and tribulations. It's like, oh, we're done. Okay. And I have found that in this time of my life, I'm coming into my own, but also God and just my life. There's a lot of closed doors where I'm facing, rejection or criticism or even self-doubt, because I found within myself, with my anxieties or my worries, that I can be my own largest critic at times, and that's a fault in myself. It's holding me back, and I have to figure that out too. Mm-hmm. And I found that when you face rejection and criticism, that's the hardest thing. You get stuck in that moment and you're like, what are you supposed to do? This is terrible, obviously. Those feelings, and it's hard to get out of them, but that's when you need to find joy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So going through those things, did it steal your joy? How did that impact
I
you?
would find, so if everyone can relate to rejection and criticism, whether it's the smallest thing or the largest thing. So loss of a job, loss of a person, loss of an even opportunity. I found that if you stay in that moment and you dwell in it and you are, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim. Why is this happening to me? Oh my gosh, just angry and sad at the world. You've become your worst enemy. And once you find that this is happening, I love the quote. This is not just happening to me, it's happening for me. I know.
I love that.
And that's really helped me, truly, because once you're able to zoom out the lens and look at the bigger picture, you're able to see, okay, this is just a bigger part of the story, and this is going to make me a better individual and also align to my better, higher self. So obviously in the moment it's hard. I don't like minimize that at all. There's a lot of tears that happen.
I'm going to cry from what you just said. I love that.
Cookie's my biggest fan over here.
Yeah.
It's hard, and I will never tell somebody, you know, the right way to do it or to minimize their feelings, because we all go through grief or those feelings differently. Mm-hmm. But once you're able to switch that mindset and be like, okay, this might have been taken from me, but we're ready for what's coming next. Let's open the new door. Like, that door's closed. We don't know what's behind the new door. It might include some of the things that were behind this door, but let's seek out what's next. Let's keep going.
I love talking about mindsets and perspectives. Yes. And one of those mindsets is realizing that other people don't know what's in store for us. It's God. And this verse in the Bible from Jeremiah says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God has these plans. People down here who are rejecting us or criticizing us, they don't know what's in store for us. They don't know how loved we are by our Creator and God. Like, He has so much good for us. We don't need others' approval because we find joy in God's love and acceptance for us. How does knowing this message give you peace and joy in your journey?
Yes, this is actually one of my favorites, because I found when you're in a season where you feel like everywhere you're turning to is just some face of rejection or criticism or point blank just not knowing what to do, you, or at least I have found in my personal experience, you seek out, you ask, what's the right choice? What am I supposed to do? Leaning on others. And like you said, not anyone knows what you truly are destined for, what your journey or path is. And no one can even tell you what the right way to feel is, because sometimes that doesn't make you feel any better either.
Right.
So this is actually one of my favorites, because once I realized, you know, upon this self-growth journey, like, there's a bigger purpose for me, and this isn't the end of my story, whether it's like a closed door, as I keep saying. I feel like I'm like talking about so many closed doors, but you know, that's not it. It's just a part of what He has destined for me. Like, it's so much easier to just not stay in this state of worrying and anxiety. It's just, okay, cast it all on Him, because He knows what's best and He knows what's going to happen anyways. Yeah. So I kind of just sit back and like, I'm ready for the ride.
Yeah, passenger seat, baby. Yeah. Do you have any practices to make that stay in motion?
I find now in this season of life too, that journaling and just, you know, having that time carved out in the day or multiple times a day to just talk in silence with the Lord, it's very helpful. Manifesting what you want, you know, in the passenger seat, of course, but, you know, what you would like to have Him see and work in your life too has been helpful for me. Staying in touch with people who also draw you toward the Lord. So like this girl over here, she's the best. But like my family too, we're big, you know, we're very spiritual, religious. So I find that when I come home from school, I feel so like full and just like revived because I'm around their good company. And also like you have to take care, like we talked about, self-growth, like taking care of yourself. Like I find working out when we go kickboxing, or
working out.
Just that time that you're focusing on you ends up being like you're filling the cup for what's to come. What's more.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of your self-growth and your faith, and it's a great story.
Thank you.
To start off our new year. So that's how you handle the first thief of joy that we're going to talk about this series, rejection and criticism from others. You turn it back to God because He is the one who has the plans for your life and who knows where you're going and loves you and accepts you for who you are because He made you that way. So thank you, Emily, or Beans, or Buns, whatever you want to call you.
So happy to be here.
And thank you all for joining us for week 1 of our new series, Thieves of Joy. We will see you next week for week 2.